recorded on the following program is on an individual basis. Listeners should not consider today's discussion as a recommendation for any investment and should carefully evaluate before investing. This is your Real Estate Today on News Talk 11.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the last show of January for the show Your Real Estate Today. So glad that you're with us on this Saturday afternoon. Thank you for sharing your time with us. You know, time just flies. You know, there's a good friend of mine that always talked about time and said that the days are slow, but the years are fast. So before we know it, it'll be Christmas again. Hey, Sandy, how are you?
I'm good. Say that's not so.
I just paid the credit card for last Christmas.
I haven't even done that yet.
I have
Or
a
maybe
lot
I
less
have.
hair than I had before.
It's
So
hectic. I love it, but it's hectic, but I'm not ready for it again anytime soon.
I hear you. I hear you. You know, enough of the funny sweaters, you know, that's enough. Okay. So we're headed back to it. Thank you all for being with us today. We're so glad that you're spending the show time with us. You know, I start the show always with what I learned during the week. And I just really like what's going on in this new year. And, you know, every year I spend the month of January reflecting. And I'm not talking about looking at myself in the mirror. I'm talking about reflecting on the previous year, but more importantly, see, I'm not the kind of guy that looks in the rearview mirror a whole lot. I like to look out the windshield and see what's ahead. And, you know, I see so much promise in this year. I'm pretty daggum excited. You know, as I've mentioned to you all before, I'm now working on a program for sellers called 72 Sold, and we're having great success with that. As a matter of fact, for those that have talked to me about that, I had a VIP showing today, actually on the way here, for a potential buyer on one of my listings, and it went extremely well. I'm optimistic that I may see an offer by close of business today or close of business tomorrow. So I'm excited for my sellers, I'm excited for my team, and I'm excited about what's going on there. But the highlights of that program are really, really pretty simple. It solves two very distinct problems for a listing. That's time on the market and buyer delay. The longer that home sits on the market, what is the assumption, Sandy?
That it's overpriced or that something's wrong with it.
Exactly. So you tend to see offers that come in lower than they should, especially when there isn't even anything wrong with it, or, you know, that it hasn't been, or it's not been, you know, rejected by multiple buyers. The problem is you have to price it right, you have to price it correctly up front, and you have to do the work. You have to have a program that gets all those buyers in it with a sense of urgency. The second is buyer delay. You know, Don Harris had an expression, one of my team members in 2021, that said, if you sleep on it, you're not going to sleep in it. Because that's the kind of market we had in 2021, where things were dynamic. And I will tell you this, I'm not going to be a spoiler alert, but I'll spoil a little. Next year, we're going to face that same kind of market when the rates finally get down to where they should be in the fives, or where the people believe they should be in the fives. So right now, when a buyer goes home and doesn't feel that sense of urgency, their offers typically come in lower. And every day that goes by, there's statistics to show you how much lower that offer will be. So I do feel like those two things through this program are there to help our sellers. So I'm excited about sharing more and more of that with you in person. All right. So the other piece of this is I wanted to show you some very interesting statistics around foreign buyers. So first of all them foreigners that are coming here and buying real estate, would you like to take a guess, TJ and Sandy, what the average home price is from a foreign buyer?
Average from a foreign buyer, I would say 697.
Oh wow. I'm gonna go 425.
You know, those were both really good guesses, but they're both wrong.
Yeah.
The average buyer, I got one more trivia question, so don't leave the mic. One more around that. The average price was 598,000.
I was the closest without going over.
You were. That's right. This isn't the prices.
Oh, okay. All right. $1.
The price ain't correct. Okay. All right. So how many of those foreign buyers, what percent of those foreign buyers do you believe paid cash
Oh wow.
for that house? Sandy?
43.
I'm gonna go higher. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say 60%.
Okay. Well, I got to tell you, Sandy, that was a really, really good guess. 44%
Wow.
of them paid
about
cash.
that?
All right, one more trivia question. Here we go. The last trivia question for all of the enchiladas. What was the number one? Well, I got two questions. What was the number one country that bought the most property in the United
China.
States? Huh?
China.
China. Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Now, what is the number one place they bought?
Oh, I want to say California.
That would be my guess as well.
California is your guesses?
Yeah.
Wrong. Florida. 24% of those buyers bought in Florida, 11% in California, 7% in Arizona, and 4% in New York and North Carolina. The
Huh.
Chinese spent 6.1 billion buying real estate in the United States, followed closely by the Canadians. They bought 5.5 billion then followed by the Indians. They bought 3.6 billion, Mexicans 2.9, and Brazilians 1.6. Wow. So isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I thought so too. All right, Sandy, what is your mortgage update for today?
Well, mortgage update is this, that I have been a little surprised that we haven't seen more buying activity because the prices are decent now. They've settled a little and there's more negotiation taking place. So Paul told you the perks about what he can do for sellers, but buyers have a good advantage right now, at least until spring or until people get their tax returns back. So I would say that, you know, rates are not ideal right now, but they're also not terrible. So if you're paying over 6, that's not terrible. I'm not finding that people can't afford it. The affordability issue is not, I haven't seen a lot of it. We're still getting people qualified, and we have a lot of tips and tricks to help you feel comfortable with your payment. And the payment can be temporary because as rates drop, which we are anticipating, of course you can refinance to a lower rate, but you can never change the price you pay for the house. So I would say get in now while the getting's good, because Paul's right. After the rates drop, there's going to be another frenzy. And by then you'll be all settled and you can watch the entertainment.
Yeah, you know, 2021, we always shook our head and said, oh, we're never going to see anything else like it. I hate to say this, folks. When rates stabilize in the 5s, we're going to see it again. And it may be even worse because every day that goes by, that demand gets more and more and more. And inventory is flat as a pancake. So I see it coming, don't you?
Yep, I'm excited.
If they're interested in finding out more about a mortgage, Sandy, how do they get you?
They can call my cell phone, 704-577-0144.
Sandy Dickinson, Cross Country Mortgage, 704-577-0144. Coming up, next segment, Marty and Sam Ivy. Oh my, do we have some stuff to talk about? We're excited to be with them. And I'm going to talk later on about the famous love letters. So we've got more to come to show your real estate today here on News Talk 1110 99.3 WBT.